People-pleasing and perfectionism. You're one more than the other. You're both, but you're one more than the other. And to understand how you position yourself, within your relationship, within the world, to strengthen your persona is ideal. This is one of the ways in which we weaken our heart. Absolutely, because there is no heart. It is the cloak of deception. How we play out these strategies. It's the fake you could say. The persona you've built out to protect yourself so nobody gets close to you. That's what's so strange about these strategies. I'm going to share with you how these shape out. The pleaser. Core suffering I was, something around abandoned, neglected, ignored, not enough attention. You did not get the attention that you wanted. Some suffering. Emotion response, fear. The need to be well-liked. If I'm well-liked, maybe I'll get the attention that I'd like. So the fear is, this is going to happen to me again. I'll be abandoned, be ignored. And so I need to be well-liked so I don't have this experience again. The behavior and response is pleasing. I'll please you. Look at me. I'm going to please you. I'm so sweet. I'm so nice. I'm so likable. Accept me. Please accept me. I make your life easier. You need me, I'm there. I'll pet you. I'll help you move. I'll bake you things. I'll make your life easier so you never discard me. I'm so sweet as I bat my eyes at you and purr. You can never discard something so sweet and wonderful in your life as me. And that's the posture. Pleasers turn into relationships because that's where they're going to find what they are looking for, which is attention. The contract is, I please you and you tell me how good I am, how wonderful I am. You validate me. That's the rules of engagement here. I make your life easier and you validate me. You tell me that I'm a likable person, then you accept me and you keep me around. Because maybe, if you do, I'll feel loved. And if I feel loved, I'll feel safe. That's what we're aiming for. Love me. Love me. Love me. Love me. Please love me. Desire to feel needed and validated. We find that in relationships. The strategy, love me for being kind. It's a lot of pressure to put on oneself and certainly on a relationship. Love me for being kind. That means I always have to be kind. Even when I'm not so kind, I must pretend that I am kind. If I'm upset, sad, frustrated, angry, I can't show you that. I have to be kind. Look at the smile on my face and still here I am petting you, purring, cuddling you, spooning you, doing wonderful things to you, even when I don't want to be here. The problem with that, at some point, we're seen as weak and needy because the pleaser is a shapeshifter, tending to so many needs of others that they sacrifice their needs so much so they don't know what they want. Rarely do they say no, so therefore they don't negotiate on their own behalf. Whatever you want, I'll do whatever. Sounds good to me, no problem. And sometimes people want us to make decisions. Tell me what you think. Make a decision. Why can't you take care of yourself? Why are you smothering me with all your niceties? Get away from me. That can happen. You wet blanket. That's the confrontation we'll lead ourselves into. Sometimes, if not all of the time, playing out the strategy. People can't handle that level of attention all of the time. Let me feed you. Let me change you. Let me. And we can suck the independence out of people. And in some ways, we want to keep people around us as the baby, underdeveloped, so we can tend to them. And so they're dependent on us. It's perfect. You need me. And because you need me, I'm validated. Clearly, I must be a good person. I must be lovable. The cloak of deception. The outcome is always dis-ease and devastation, because the pleaser builds up resentment that bends and warps them and seizes their heart until there is no heart. And so the integration for a pleaser is autonomy, to be the self, the individual, to be able to stand in your own 2 feet and make decisions for yourself, and to say no, sometimes, which is very difficult for a pleaser to do. If you tend to relate to being a pleaser, you know what I'm speaking about, how difficult it is to say no. The pleaser has some heavy consequences attached to it, and you know them. You know them intimately. Absolutely. The other strategy I'm going to share with you is the perfectionist. Typically, the core suffering around a perfectionist is something like too much attention, being criticized, teased, bullied, punished in some sense. Too much attention. Too much attention. The emotion response is shame. Something like that in that neighborhood. I'm ashamed of myself for being who I am. I'm unacceptable. I'm not likable. How do I know that? Because somebody criticized me, teased me, bullied, punished me. I must be flawed in some sense. Need to be seen as capable. If I'm seen as capable, perhaps I won't be criticized. How do I do that? Well, I have to be perfect. Everything has to be perfect. I have to be perfect. Everything I do must be perfect. My life must be perfect. I'll perfect. And in that, maybe I'll be seen as capable. And isn't that amazing? And if I'm seen that way, never will I be criticized because everything will be perfect. Nobody has any evidence to tease or bully or punish me because everything is perfect. Oriented towards tasks. Why? Because they can be perfected. The puzzle, the to-do list, the spreadsheet. Perfectionists don't like people typically all that much because of their source of harm. Harm, criticism, being teased, being punished, these kinds of things. Tasks don't do that. It's the perfect outlet. Give me something to perfect. I'm in charge. Nobody else is. Desire to feel useful and praised. Let me be perfect. Make your life better because I'm in it. And you tell me how perfect I am. Show me some praise in all the things in which I do. The strategy, love me for being flawless. If I'm flawed, I won't be loved. If I'm not loved, I don't feel safe. And so I have to be perfect all of the time at everything I do. And if I'm not, I won't do it. It's a lot of responsibility to put on oneself, and certainly within a relationship. Always see me as perfect. Don't ever see me as anything other than perfect. Because if you do, you'll live to regret it. And we can play this out in our relationships. Seen as rigid and arrogant. I know more than you. Let me tell you how much more I know. Why would you do something like this? Get out of the way, I'll do it. Why are you such a bother? Messing things up. Let me do it. And how we can pinch responsibilities away from other people until they're useless. You're the one in charge, surrounded by a bunch of useless people that don't know how to support you. And how you've designed a life like that at times. Until sometimes you wake up and you look around and nobody's with you. You're doing everything. And how you become embittered because you're doing everything and nobody's around to support you. Conflict. And how people get fed up of the perfectionists at times. Why are you always criticizing me? Taking things away from me? Bullying me into doing things other ways? Why can't I just be me? You know it all. And how people can push us away because they get tired of us as the perfectionists because they don't have room to breathe. The integration for perfectionists is intimacy. The very thing they don't want. That's messy business because that happens through people and within relationships. Perfectionists are often on the periphery of relationships. They're just enough to be praised, but not too deep in to be criticized or hurt and harmed in some ways. And so these strategies shape us. They have shaped us. You are who you are as a consequence of this approach. Perhaps you can see that. You definitely want to see that. It's tricky business. Very tricky business. Attempting to sort yourself out in a way that's meaningful, not in a way that you know yourself to be through these strategies. And what can often happen if we're not one strategy, we're the opposite. And how this can bend not only you, but your relationships. And so then the idea is to stop it or do it less. Even doing it less makes a significant difference. 5% less. Because you have to ask yourself, if you're not your strategy, what are you? Perhaps the other strategy. If you're both of these strategies, then who are you? And that's where choice comes into play. You have to choose who you're being as often as you possibly can. Because if you're not, this is how we can present.